see what happens.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the August 4th, 2025 meeting of the Litchfield Capital Improvement Committee. Would you all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Why don't we go around the room and introduce ourselves? I guess we can start with you, Brian. How's
Yep.
that?
Hi, Brian O'Connell, Superintendent of Schools here in Litchfield.
Brian, did you want to introduce yourself? I know you're on the...
I'm sorry, I didn't know what's
That's all right.
I didn't know what's next.
Yeah, Brian Burke, Budget Committee Rep.
Okay.
Kim Kleiner, Town Administrator.
Kimberly Queenan, Selectmen's Rep.
Michael Croto, Planning Board.
Pete Stone, Citizen Rep.
Jamin Carr, NRPC.
Mike Parker, Citizen Rep.
Okay, welcome, everybody. And Brian, I assume since you're joining us by WebEx, you are alone this evening?
That's correct.
There's nobody there? Okay.
No one here. I'm alone.
So, just wanted to make sure. All right. First item on the agenda is public input. Is there any public input? We'll have two public input sessions tonight. We'll have one at the beginning and one at the end. Any public input from the public? And since I don't see, well, I see people in the gallery, but I don't see anyone raising their hands. I'll close public input. And we'll move on to the next item C, which is the approval of the minutes for April 7th, 2005. We did get copies of the minutes. Everybody have an opportunity to take a look at the April 7th minutes. Anybody have any questions, concerns? Thought they looked pretty good, but if there's anything that anyone wants to amend or talk about? Okay. Well, if there's nothing to talk about, then I would entertain a motion to have the minutes approved for April 7th, 2025. If anyone wants to make that motion.
I'll make the motion to approve the minutes for April 7th, 2025.
Okay, I have a motion by Ms. Queenan. Do I have a second?
Was that was the one I missed, right? So I can't second.
No, you were there.
I was on that.
there,
I was
yes.
May.
Because we have 2 minutes,
It
I
was,
know.
it was May then. It was whatever the last time.
Yeah, so April, you were there. Yep.
All right, I'll second then.
All right, I have a motion, Ms. Queenan. I have a second by Mr. Stone. Any further discussion? All those in favor of the, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry, yes. Because we have Brian on the WebEx tonight, we have to do a roll call. So we'll start with you, Kim. Well, actually, you're not a non-voting member. Sorry. So, okay.
Say that again?
She's not sure because he's on the WebEx, but we have to vote, so.
He's a
Right.
member of the committee.
He's a member of the committee, but he's non-voting.
Does it hurt to do a roll call vote?
Jay,
Doesn't hurt,
you got
right?
your referee shirt on.
I just don't know the rules.
Uh-oh, Jay looks a little perplexed.
Just, you know what, I would say just go with the roll call and be safe. Yeah, I haven't really come across it's a non-voting member. I don't think it is a distinction, so I'd just say do a roll call.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Ms. Queenan?
Okay, I'm just going to remind everybody, Brian Burke was there, Pete Stone was there, and myself, for voting, right? All right, yes.
Okay, Michael Proto, yes.
Pete Stone, yes.
Okay, and the motion passes 3-0-0.
And you were there, I'm sorry.
Yes.
You're on your own line.
All right, approval of the minutes of May 5th. So we have minutes for May 5th. You were not there, you said.
Correct.
Right. Can he still vote to approve them? I mean, I know you could abstain.
Yes, he
but-
could abstain. We have a quorum, he can abstain, right? Yeah. So at that meeting was Michael, Brian Burke, myself,
Mhm.
and then, of course, we had Kim and Jay, yeah.
Okay.
So it's, I will, you wanna,
You wanna-
did you, anyone have any changes to it?
I mean, no, I didn't have any changes.
Okay, I'll make a motion to accept the May 5th, 2025 minutes.
Okay, I guess I'll second that. Any discussion? All right. All those in favor of approval, I guess we'll do a roll call vote. Kim?
Yes.
Mike, yes.
Pete, abstain.
Abstain. Motion passes 2-0-1. But then we have an issue with a quorum because we have to have three, right?
You're only missing
Peter
Peter
is not here.
Plansky.
Peter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah,
He
because
still counts as a quorum even if he abstains on the vote.
You know what?
yeah, he does.
I apologize. Mike Parker is a member as well,
Yeah,
right? He's
yeah.
He's a voting member.
He's a voting member too.
But he'd be an abstention.
But he hasn't-
He'd be an
wasn't-
abstention because,
correct.
yeah, he wasn't at the
But
meeting.
the abstentions count.
Right, abstention is still a vote, and he still counts as a quorum, so,
Okay,
so you're good.
okay. All right. Very good. Okay. Confusing, but that's okay. All right.
the rest of the night is less confusing.
Yeah, hopefully. All right, so that brings us to contract. We do have a new contract, I understand, that has been drafted between the town and NRPC. Did you have an opportunity, Kim, to sign off on that, or?
I did review the contract.
Okay.
Nothing has changed. It is standard from year to year.
Mhm.
I just wanted the committee to weigh in, and then I will sign it and return it to
Okay,
NRPC.
did everybody have an opportunity to take a look at the contract?
I-
It's pretty self-explanatory. Typical contract that we do with NRPC, so. All right.
So we either keep Jay or we don't, essentially.
Okay,
I vote-
Summarize it, that's my case brief.
so does, if that's the case, do we want to vote to approve the contract?
Is that on us?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay,
I'll
so you can make a motion?
I will make a motion.
All right, Pete made a motion to approve the 2025 capital improvement contract. Do I have a second?
Second?
Second by Ms. Queenan. Any further discussion? All right, all those in favor of approval of the capital improvement contract for 2025, please signify by saying aye. Aye.
Do we have to do a roll
Oh,
call
I'm
again?
sorry.
Roll call, man.
Keep forgetting because of the tracks. I'm sorry. We do a roll call. Kim?
Yes.
Mike, yes.
Pete, yes.
Michael, yes.
Okay, so motion passes 4-0-0. Thank you. Next item is this is the fun part. Town 2026 capital improvement requests. We have 3 requests this evening. We have something from the police department, highway department, and the fire chief. Ms. Kleiner, did you just want to start us off, and then we can bring forward the folks from the police and fire?
Certainly, there's been one suggestion that I have received from legal counsel. Because legal counsel would like to see all projects that may be requested for impact fees on the capital improvement plan. I think we need to revisit the $50,000
The threshold.
because some projects have come forward to the select board for impact fees that have been under the 50,000, and legal counsel would really suggest that they be on the CIP plan.
That's a good point.
So when I put it out to the department heads, I did let them know if they will be requesting impact fees for any of their uses as a funding source, to please submit a request. I think
But
I
that's
have,
none of these folks here tonight, correct?
no, they're all
I don't
over-
see anything
they're all
below
over
50K
50.
sitting in over there.
Yeah, they're all over 50.
Okay, just checking.
I do believe that I have received requests from everyone. There are some that I did not receive the full form from yet. They are still working on their forms, but they at least gave me their submissions so that we could include it on the spreadsheet. We have also posted the spreadsheet to the town website in case there are members of the public that are interested in reviewing them. We
So Kim,
have,
does that negate our 50,000?
well, I think that's in our bylaws,
Yes.
so I think we would have to make a motion to change that. I
Well-
was looking for the
Well, I guess the question
weigh-in.
around that, Kim, is if they're just gonna note it, that they wanna use it, that doesn't necessarily mean it changes the 50K threshold. We just need to identify it because it's going to hit the impact fees, right? Not necessarily that it doesn't meet the threshold anymore, because there's two criteria, right? It's either, impact fees or 50K. Do we wanna update it to say that we'll take either one of those? Is that what you're thinking, Brian? Sorry, you were kinda clipping in and out.
Because I don't know if like, it sounded like the 50,000 was thrown out the window. It could be like
Right.
any amount of dollars, but yeah, it makes sense, Pete, what you're saying, it's like two different like, variances.
Yeah, so we would say, either over 50K or you're gonna need to collect impact fees, just so we maintain clarity in the bylaws.
I think
I would
that
think
would
so.
work. I think that would solve.
And any other exception cases we can think of while we're getting ready to do this?
No, it's only because the CIP plan directly relates to
Yep.
the impact fees.
So we had someone come before us for money, and they weren't clear whether we could use it for impact fees or not. So, correct me if I'm wrong, I think our lawyer's intending if it is not on the SIP plan and it's collecting fees, it shouldn't be asked for. Is that where they're going?
That is where they're
Yep.
going with this, yes.
So who's responsible for being able to surface whether or not it's an impact fee or not? The individual department heads, or is that something that has to come through the Board of Selectmen or us?
It has to be voted on by the Board of Selectmen,
Okay,
and they're generally, if it isn't clear, very clear,
yeah,
it's reviewed by legal counsel first.
okay. But that's not on us to identify that, correct?
No.
Okay. I was just thinking from the bylaws for us.
Yes.
So how would we want to proceed? In terms of the bylaws, we can certainly change the bylaws to reflect that. Obviously, that's not something that's necessarily noticed for the hearing tonight, but do we want to?
No, but you can make a motion to change a bylaw anytime you want.
Right.
To include items
include-
that, will be requesting
Yep.
the use of impact fees.
Okay. So, Pete, did you want to make a motion?
I was thinking maybe we hold off until next meeting and just put a note on it and get it on the agenda so that we have Brian and Peter back
Can do that.
for discussion,
Okay.
since we're touching the bylaws.
Like I said, the only submissions this year that I think it applies to is library.
Mhm.
Because all of the other requests came in over the $50,000 mark. Only the library had items that, and I'm not saying that theirs all fit impact fees.
Yeah.
I do not believe they do.
Okay. Well, that's what I was saying, like, if they're responsible for it, on the sheet, the submission sheet, is there a checkbox for impact fees?
There's a box for funding sources
Okay.
to where they list them, and one of the items is impact fees.
Okay,
I do think the building had some impact fees noted on their request. Yes, that's right, sorry, yes.
Okay.
So there's one from highway because of the change in the law.
Okay. No, that's fine, I just, just thinking through the gotchas.
Brian, did you want to say something? Or are you good? Okay, I thought you had your hand raised, sorry.
Is everybody good? Wait until the next meeting to do the bylaws?
Are we good about that? We can put it as a placeholder for next time. When we meet again, we'll vote on the bylaw change. Okay. All right, makes sense.
So the three departments that came tonight were police and fire and
Yep.
highway, and the remainder of them I am asking to schedule for the 18th,
Okay,
as we discussed.
very good. Okay, so I guess we'll start with the chief of police, Mr. Jones. Chief Jones, if you want to come on up and introduce yourself.
Thing you just did, but I'll do it again.
Okay.
Dan Jones, Chief of Police.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Okay. So we have two items, submissions for the police. One was for purchase of 6 cruisers, and the other one is actually a placeholder. I think that's for the police station. So, if you want to start with the purchase of the cruisers, we can do that.
Sure. Just for historical purposes, the police department was on a 2-1-2-1-2-1 purchase program, which stopped in 2020, I believe. Since 2020, we've bought 3 cars. Only 3 cars in a time when normally would have been, and that includes the one we just got. So we've fallen way behind our average frontline car. This doesn't include detail cars or administrative cars. Our average frontline car now has over 100,000 miles. For context, most of the area departments trade out cars around 80,000 miles. My average, again, frontline car was down 7 weeks last year. Being out of service, waiting on parts, waiting on engine rebuilds. There have been multiple times where we didn't have enough cars to give to officers to go out and go to work. It's beyond urgent at this point to do something. If we were to buy 1 car, say, next year, 2/3 of my fleet, my frontline fleet, would still have over 100,000 miles. With the highest car, if we keep on going at the norm, would have 150,000 miles on it. And so last year I more than doubled my maintenance budget. So it creates financial burdens and then just logistical burdens. Not to mention the time that I spend and the captain spends and other people shuffling cars around, waiting on cars, waiting on parts. So it's definitely a major concern. So in order to buy 1 car, it's roughly $70,000 fully outfitted. I guess the town has used a company called Tax Exempt Leasing Corp. In the past. So I got a quote for cars for us. So to replace 6 cars, it would be $100,000 a year for 5 years, with the plan to be the first year coming out of unassigned and then 4 years of $100,000 payments. And again, to purchase 1 car is $70,000, 2 is $140,000. And again, 2 doesn't really get us to where we need to be, let alone 1. So I put $100,000 in. That's factoring about what I paid or what I paid this year for the car we just got, the cost that it would take to upfit with a 5% cushion in there. Quite honestly, just because $100,000 was a nice round number. As we get a little closer to 2026, and certainly long before we have to go to the voters, I'll have exact numbers on, the cars, the upfit. rates and all those things, but I'm pretty confident $100,000, it's gonna be right there, right where we need to be.
And this is 4 cars, 100K for 4 years. Right? So we get 4 cars, 100K.
No,
for
this
the
is
next
6
one.
cars.
Oh, 6 cars.
This is 6 cars.
6.
And again, the first year would be 5 years, with the first year coming out of unassigned, and then 4 years
Okay.
of 100K
Oh,
coming out of
gotcha,
the
okay.
budget.
I missed that part. First year unassigned.
And what's included in that lease? Is there maintenance included or anything like that?
No, and so, you know, I don't like the fact that they call it a lease, because it's not a lease.
Okay.
It is just simply a loan. For whatever reason, when the municipalities do it, or when the government does it, they change it to, they call it a municipal lease. It is just a loan.
Okay.
Having said that, I, you know, added quite a bit to my maintenance budget, because, like I said, I went more than double my budget last year, and I'm already over for this year. So if we were able to get this many new cars, I'd be able to reduce that, and now we're back to maintenance rather than engine rebuilds. You know, I think 6 out of the 7 Tahoes had engine rebuilds. The only one that didn't have it is the car that has 20,000 miles on it now. We even had a car that needed an engine rebuild at 47,000 miles. So which is why this year we've changed brands.
With
and-
47K, it needed a new motor?
Yes.
Wow, never buy that brand again.
No,
That's
absolutely
crap.
not. And it's because of the fuel delivery system that motor used to be. It's the Chevy Tahoe. It's that 5.3 that I'm sure some of you had owned at some point in something, because it's a prolific motor. Because they had to change their fuel delivery system to meet federal standards, they're just imploding. And I've seen newer ones than 47,000, talking to other people.
Yeah,
It's all
that's-
20,000 miles.
Oh, if I was paying that out of the pocket, I would be very unhappy.
But the problem is, like, that car was one of the ones that was covered by the warranty.
Yeah,
The problem is I still lose it. The
Right.
problem is I'm still without cars.
and there's no guarantee it's gonna be
And there's
the
no-
same
right,
as it
so-
was when you get it back.
Some of the other cars we have that have been rebuilt, we actually, car 12, we continually having problems. And, you know, because you change these 27 parts or whatever it is, the other parts still have 100 and something thousand miles on it.
Yep.
So Chief, if I can ask, so you're looking to purchase 6 vehicles at once?
Yes.
So what is that gonna do as far as the schedule of like replacements going forward?
So just every 6 years at the lease, at the lease end, we replace all of them again. And then other ones,
Your cars don't last 6 years.
well, okay, I take that back. It's a 5 year, so then on the 6th year, we would replace them. But yeah, so our 2020, and again, we're changing brands, so 2020, let me see how many miles it has on it, although people have been driving that because other cars have been down. Yeah, even our 2020 has 125,000 miles on it.
And what's the total car count? 12?
We have 6 frontline cars, 2 detail cars, 3 administrative cars.
Okay.
So to Mr. Bork's, I can see the budget committee spinning here, because the first year that it goes into the budget is obviously going to be a hit because of the tax cap. So $100,000. After that, because it's in the budget every year, and even when you go to replace them, it will be a non-issue. But that first year, he can reduce his maintenance line. We can work other things to make that work. But that first year with it in the budget is a tax cap issue.
So this doesn't go to warrant, this just goes to budget adjustment.
It would go to warrant. So all municipal leases have to go to warrant. And so the first year, if the selectmen agree, you could take the first payment out of unassigned fund balance
Yep.
with the remaining 4 years going into the, or 4 or 5, 4 years.
For
So it says on the form capital
4
reserve,
years.
but it's unassigned, not capital reserve?
Unassigned,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry,
So that's a separate warrant article? It doesn't come out of the budget adjustment?
No, it's a separate warrant article. It's commonly how we do it with the highway trucks. We've been leasing highway trucks in this capacity for, I don't know,
But
Mr.
did,
Brown,
I
how
thought
long?
I thought we paid for
6
them
years.
differently. I thought those were paid direct though, based on the warrants, and then there was some other money funding that we got to pay for some of that.
No, the first year has been under,
Like our Freightliner and our CV both went through warrant, and they're
Yep.
in a 5-year payment plan.
Yep.
$28,000, and at the end of that payment plan, it falls off. So it comes off the budget line,
Okay,
unless it's voted on for another one.
yeah. So what are we thinking about timing for this? Because if we gotta wait for warrant, we can't do this until next year.
correct,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, he said we were taking it from unassigned, and I didn't know if that was unassigned now.
26, or?
Oh, only, yeah, in 26, only
I-
the
I'm-
voters can spend unassigned.
Not insinuating that, just
Yeah.
clarifying for my own benefit.
Do we know how much is in unassigned funds?
I will know at tax setting time the new one, but as of last tax setting time, it was 3.2.
Okay.
We are at the high level, the town's policy is, 8 to 12%,
Mhm.
and we were at the high level, the high end of that. Plenty in that side.
So in 5 years, when this happens, do we have to buy 5 new cars again, or are you gonna start doing a 2-1-2? How is that gonna work? You have a
No,
total
I
of,
mean, the good thing about this, and again, we can reassess it certainly, but the good thing about this is that it just keeps the payment flat. We're not going, 1 year asking for 140,000, the next year asking for 70,000, 140, 70. Because, to be honest with you, at this point to catch up, we'd have to buy 2 and 3 for a couple of years, if we only do, even buying 2, to catch up.
are you gonna buy all 6 at once, though?
Yes.
So what happens, hopefully they make it 5 years. What happens after the 5 years of use of the car? Do
Then
we have to
you
replace
sell them.
another 5? You're just gonna sell them?
Right, you'd sell them and get new ones.
I just wanna make sure we're anticipating a hit later for, another.
Yeah, right, and that's the whole thing, is it should, unless, I'm sure prices will go up and who knows what the interest rates will be in 5 years, 6 years from now. It should be relatively flat, might go up a little bit, but not,
And these are loans we own at the end of the term.
yes,
correct?
it would be our car to do with as we please.
Chief, how many cars do you have right now that are more than 6 years old?
You talking about frontline cars?
Yeah.
So I have the frontline cars. I have 3 2019s, a 2020, a 22, and a 23.
And all those be replaced?
Yes. So what I would do is move some of the cars around so that we don't have to account for detail cars, say, or administrative cars. I would probably shuffle some of the older cars around, keep the best of the cars, and get rid of the 6 least desirable cars. I'll put it like that.
Yeah. Well, that's my concern with purchasing 6 cars at once. You have a 23 and a 22 that you're already looking to replace. They're only 2 years old. And you're saying these 6 cars will last 6 years.
Different brand.
But you're gonna swap those cars with
Yeah, he's gonna recycle those
Right, I'm
brand
gonna
into a
recycle
different
it. Yeah,
fleet.
they're not gonna be deadlined, and we're gonna leave them. The other thing we're gonna do is, what's happened in the past is the detail cars were stripped. We're taking all the equipment out, so they didn't have computers, they didn't have the radar, they didn't have all of the things that should be in a fully functioning car, because they were just sent out. What I would do is keep them fully functional, so that if I'm out of cars, I have more cars to put, and we can spread the mileage around. A detail car, we can still run for a period of time and then, you know, phase it out as it gets a little bit older.
But the details, cars you have today are not in that condition.
No,
You can't use them in that capacity.
right.
So it sounds like he's basically putting live spares in, or if something's out on maintenance, he can cycle off somebody off to another car. Or balance the mileage so he's not overloading, Brian.
Yeah, it's just, again, I'm just concerned that you're looking for 6 cruises to last 6 years.
Well, it's a 5-year, right, because you make the payment up front in the first year. So at the end, and again, you can, at the end of the lease, we could look at it and say, you know, do we want to keep some of these a little bit longer? Do we want to sell them while they still have a little bit of value? You know,
We might need some visual aids, I think. I mean, just to kind of talk through the fleet, because I could see Brian's, he's thinking through it. Trying to figure out where these things are gonna go, and I think since we're here, it's making it easier. Is that what you're feeling, Brian?
Yeah.
You're not visualizing, all right.
No, I'm visualizing it. I know what the vehicles that are right now at the police department. And the concern is you have cars that are 3 years old that should not be frontline cars.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
We're looking for vehicles not to last 6 years.
Well, I don't think he wants them to last 6. I think they'll last 5. The term of well, I'm going to say loan because lease is
right.
incorrect in the context of what that is happening. But I guess the one that's 47,000 miles. That's how old is that car? Is that one of the newer ones? Because that's pretty low mileage.
Yeah, the one with oh no, okay, so that car now has 74, 75.
Oh, that okay. That was
It was
just,
rebuilt
That was
at
just when the
47.
motor got rebuilt.
Yeah, it was
Okay,
rebuilt
gotcha.
at 47.
And the last point that I have is right now this year you purchased a vehicle for fully equipped, what, 70,000?
70,000 roughly, yeah.
So why are these cars 100,000 now?
I'm sorry? No, this is to lease 6 cars. The lease is 100,000
Per year.
per year
For all 6
for
cars.
all 6 cars. They're not per car.
Again, it's not a lease, you said.
No, it's a loan. Again,
Police purchase.
They call it a municipal lease.
Yeah, they call it a
Lease
municipal
purchase.
lease.
Well, they call it a loan, but it's or lease, but it sounds like the agreement is actually more like a loan. Like there's no buyout buyout or payout at the end. It's done at the end of the term.
it's 100% a loan. I don't know why they call it that, but it's 100% structured like a loan.
I think a lot of times it's because they give you a option out.
You say you're paying $180,000 in interest?
No. Typically, does it give you a
6
separate?
times 70 is 420. Plus 180 is 600.
No, but we're only making 5 payments. 500,000, not 600,000.
They said 6 years of 100,000.
No, it's a 5-year. 5 years, 6 cars.
Okay, got it, thank you.
Does it give you a interest?
Yeah, the interest rate, again, who knows what it's gonna do by the time we actually pull the trigger. But the current rate is 4.98, which is probably better than you can get in the open market right now.
Yeah, it's like 13 change per car in interest.
Nope, I had 600,000, I was incorrect, thank you.
Again, otherwise, I mean, to be honest with you, I'd be asking for 3 cars, not that I would get them, but, and even 3 cars doesn't get me where I need to be in the short term. And that's gonna be $210,000 this year
To buy them outright.
to buy them outright. And then I'm gonna have to turn around and do it again next year.
See, it appears that this strategy is one that won't get us where we are today. It'll get us where we want to be, kind of level, okay? You get rid of the worst cars, 6 plus you shuffle things around, where else you need cars in the fleet, and then we don't, 5 years from now, or 3 years from now, chief comes back and says, hey, we need this amount of money. Well, we don't, because it's kind of taken care of.
He'll be back in 5 years, because he's got to ask again when they recycle.
Right, but it won't be, it won't be a surprise, and it won't be a balloon payment. It'll be
Yes.
it'll be pretty level.
Yes, exactly. And I think that's probably the best point. It's not that balloon buyout of a traditional lease, which is just not good for your pocketbook.
And quite frankly, I don't know how we put 210,000 into the budget and stay under the cap. That math isn't gonna work.
But this covers 6, and you have what, 11 total?
11 cars.
And the other 5 are made up of cycling out of this group of 6.
So
Is that your plan over time? I guess?
typically what's happened in the past is 2-1, 2-1, 2-1 on the patrol cars, then the administrative cars were just bought, I guess, we had extra money. I mean, I wasn't here, but just looking
Yeah.
historically from what I can see, it looked like, okay, we need cars. We'll take it from unassigned. I don't think any of the
Well, I think
cars-
some of them are just ad hoc, if I remember correctly. Because there was a different, there was 170, and one was 120. There was some differential in the cars either last year or the year before, when they requested the cars. Because one was like, I don't know, an admin car, I can't remember, do you remember what they called it? There was some different, I'd have to go back through the old
So-
spreadsheet, but there was a difference. And I remember one was like 70 and one was like 110 or 120, just for that one vehicle.
I don't know.
I know, again, looking back in time, I wasn't here, they were looking
Yeah.
for a supervisor's car, which
That's
was
what it
gonna be,
was.
yeah.
That's what it
Which
was, and that
was
was over
the-
100K.
Yes, Mr. Frank.
Yeah, so this is gonna standardize and level set and make things a little more consistent.
Yes.
I think this is a smart move to get this in the budget. I mean, the budget committee, there are members that have discussed this, that cruisers should be in the budget, and this puts them in the budget, and then you don't have to worry about it going forward.
Yeah. No, I'm just thinking about the rest of that fleet. If this is just covering that group of 6, there's still 5 other vehicles that need to be.
Right, so the detail cars were what I was saying, like, take, some of the better cars, make them detail cars, but
Yeah.
leave them outfitted to use
But
in an
that's
emergency.
the other
So
3, right? So there's still
There's
2
two,
other.
there's 2
law
detail
cars.
cars and then 3 administrative cars.
Oh, 2, okay, I got it backwards. All right. Or if we start cycling them all out, then then at least they all can go into use if you need
If
to.
you wanna give me 11 cars, I'll work with that too.
I'm just saying, I mean, if they cycle out the right way,
Right.
or they don't get tons of mileage on them and they don't blow up at 47K.
All right.
No, I like it.
I think it makes sense.
Yeah.
And keeping it consistent, that's important. And obviously, maintenance costs and things of that nature.
Right, to be honest with you, whatever interest we pay, by year, we'll probably save that much. Don't quote me on this, but we'll save a pretty good portion of it just in maintenance costs.
Yeah. Well, I can't imagine engine replacement's cheap. I know that one was under warranty, but God help us if another one goes. So,
Okay. You also had, I think the police station was one of your other,
Correct.
anything on that that you want to talk about?
So, again, I think everybody here knows the history with the police station. Obviously, it was voted down this year. So we are going to reevaluate. We're gonna do a working group similar to what the school district has done for their facility. We'll have members of the community and members of certain boards and to reevaluate, and then I put in there $30,000 out of impact fee to possibly get a redesign done, depending on what this working group, wants to put forward. So this is really just to keep it in the CIP, Not looking, it's not gonna go to warrant this year. Just wanna let you know that, yeah, we still need it, nothing has changed there.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I mean, we can keep it on there even without the other group looking at it.
Well, I think it makes sense because at least it remains on the CIP, so therefore
Yeah.
it's.
And we can keep charging impact fees for it.
Yes. That part.
What, just a question in background. What was the police station originally designed for? Because it says here that it wasn't designed to be a police station, although you were the first occupant.
Oh, that's because he's talking about the one that's in this building.
Yeah.
This is part of the town hall, and it's right there.
Yeah, so this, the building is an office building, basically, and they kind of made some adjustments, but even at the time, was not built to standards for what a police department should have for safety, for legal reasons, for protocols, for everything, for efficiency. So they started behind the 8 ball. The second it was done, it was already not what it should have been in 1997.
Well, and then I don't want to, maybe we just have a quick catch up afterwards to get him up to speed on the history. Because I'm sure reading through that is going to be like, holy.
And I'm sure,
There's a lot of bits there.
I'm sure Chief Jones would be very willing to give you a tour.
Yes. To give you the crash course of.
That tells 1,000
Yes,
words.
Absolutely.
Yes. Because I think the fire chief and Brian might fall out of their chairs if we had to go
Is it
through all that.
online, Chief?
I can forward you the old
Is your tour online?
Had it
You
on-
did have
posted
a,
it, right?
I don't remember if we took it down afterwards because we were going to regroup. So I think we took down everything. But yeah, we're
Yeah.
open Monday through Friday. For tours anyway, we're open 24/7.
There's just bits to unpack in the history.
Anything else?
You got anything else? Nothing else?
Anybody?
Wow.
Well, thank you very much, Chief, for
Yes,
coming in.
thank you.
Appreciate it. And,
Appreciate it. He's like. Next victim.
Up next, Kevin Brown, Highway Department. No, road agent.
Everybody doesn't know.
Hold on, I gotta get Brian's spreadsheet. Hold on, I know there's one there.
I have a little bit for you tonight. Not too bad.
I just gotta get your spreadsheet, cause I know you got one floating
Any
here somewhere.
place in particular we want to start? We'll start with the easy
Whatever
one.
you'd
with
like.
That was that?
You have paving and.
We'll start with the paving.
Yeah, here we go.
So, I just asked the chief when the fire station was built, because it was built and occupied prior to me starting. Back then, we had a warrant article every year for $200,000 for road maintenance, the asphalt. At the time, the selectmen decided not to ask for that warrant any longer, to give everybody, taxpayers a little bit of a break, because they knew that the cost of the fire station was coming on board. Well, now we're at the point where we need that $200,000 back. As of now, the only road improvement or maintenance money that we get is from the state. We get
And that's also 200K, right?
approximately $200,000 every year, 196, 207, it varies depending upon how well everybody from Massachusetts buys us things and stays at our hotels. But it kind of goes up and down. But, so right now, NRPC, a few years back, did a analysis of all of our roads, and we kind of went by that. I can show that to you all if you want to see that. We have pretty much kept up with that, a little bit off here and there, because roads, degrade a little differently and, than what you might expect. But we've been kind of following their plan on overlaying. But we're at the point now where we need to do some real deep remediation of these some of these roads. Talent Road, Pearson, Century, all need to be, brought right down to base coat and brought back up. So it's more expensive. It's probably the double the cost as it would just to overlay. So basically, I want to get back that warrant for $200,000, so we can bring our monies up to $400,000 per year and get some of this deeper construction done. So that's just going back to 2018 and asking for that money again. As of right now, for people who are listening, people who care, out of taxes is about $10,000 in maintenance comes from taxes for the highway department to do paving. That's it. That's all people are paying right now. The rest is coming from the state, which is awesome, but we need more money for more asphalt. Drive around the roads, take a look. I know you live on them, So, that's what I'm asking for the warrant, for $200,000 to be reinstated.
Okay. Anybody have any questions for the road agent?
Hold on, I'm going back in my own paper trail of doom time machine here. Because everything you got, Kevin's like 200K, so I have to go check it all. Feel like I figure out which 200K is which.
Well, they'll be coming from different sources, so.
Because we have warrant article listed with the 200K year over year for up to 1.2 that we had done that looked like that started in 2023.
On the CIP? Yeah, I've been putting.
Is that the one? Or is that the placeholder one that you want to make sure that we get reconstituted?
I keep putting it in every year. I keep asking.
Okay, so you're asking for the same one?
I'm asking
All
the
right.
same $200,000.
That's where you're confusing me, because you're going back to the beginning of the fire department. I'm like, what the hell
Well,
is he talking
that's when that $200,000 was ended. But as
Yeah,
soon,
yeah,
as soon as
now
I
I'm
started,
triangulating now, yeah.
yeah, as soon as I started in approaching CIP.
Because I was thinking the
I
other
asked
one,
for
I'm
it
like,
back.
but he's really asking for 4 because he already had been asking for the 2. Now we're on the same page. I'm good now. See, I remember these things, but just not as
good,
clearly
it's
as you do, clearly. Because you put it together, so you know what's in there.
All right, everybody good with that one?
All right, now we're on the same page.
You got it. Now, the next one, I don't know, you guys want to hold off on the trucks till the end?
I think we're vehicled
I
out
don't
for
wanna upset
at least 10
Brian.
minutes.
Let's get into the easy one. I have here a quote from US Steel Building. I've got their concrete and I've got their building quote. And this is just the first quote I got for the building that I'd like to propose to use impact fees to build at the highway department. One of our greatest problems at the highway department, we have no garage space. Right now, we have one garage bay, which is 35 by 49 feet long. We park our loader and our backhoe in there in the winter to keep it out of the weather. Other than that, we have 2 tents. One has salt in it, and one we can put maybe 4 to 5 trucks in it at a time. I currently have 10 trucks and 4 pieces of heavy equipment. We don't have any capacity. If I have a vehicle that breaks down, we pull it into the garage, it's broken down. If we need to get parts, we don't have any place to put anything inside. If we have a truck that freezes, we have a truck that the salt freezes, we have no heated garage to put anything in. With the impact fees, we've had a lot of construction lately. My impact fees for the highway department have gone up. And working with Kim, now we can use that on infrastructure of a highway department. I'm proposing to put a 120 by 40 garage with 6 bays across the front and 1 bay door in the back. Like I said, I have the description here if you guys want to see it. Heated, we want to use waste oil heating. Right now, Dave Mellon at the recycling center is sending out 3 to 4 times a year, thousands of gallons. We're paying to get rid of waste oil. We can get a waste oil heater grant through the state to have a waste oil heater put in. So we'd like to heat the garage, 53 degrees, just enough to keep it above freezing, with the waste oil heat. So now the town wouldn't be paying to dispose of it, and we'd be able to use it. It's hard to talk to people about salt, but salt, as it eats your cars. Everybody knows that. Well, it eats our trucks too. We wash off as much as we can. The problem with salt is it needs a catalyst. Right? If you put salt in a shaker, it's not going to melt away. It's not going to do anything. Once you add water to it or you add heat to it, it's a catalyst. Some kind of a sugar to it, it's a catalyst. When it sits on the trucks outside and it gets hot and it gets cold and the moisture, it eats away at our trucks. I have 2019s that have brake lines, transmissions. I have just brakes that are just rotten right out of them because we can't get it. When we wash it, it goes through a brine. If they pull inside a building and it's a heated garage, it basically stops the salt from working because you don't have that moisture level. You don't have that catalyst making that salt. So if we can get our equipment inside, it'll last longer. Right now, I'm seeing some of our trucks that are 5, 6 years old, look like they're 20 years old. They only have 8,500 miles on them, and they look like they're 20-year-old vehicles. And I'm telling you, we got 2 pressure washers going continuously washing. I have this stuff called Salpicon that's supposed to neutralize salt, but it just doesn't do it. It needs to get out of the weather. You know, like it goes from 75 degrees to 80 degrees, so you get all that moisture, and it just activates that salt. So that's another use for the building. We have no storage for our chipper, for our roller, for our extra equipment. Anybody's more than welcome to come down to our garage and see how packed in we are one bay. We try and get as much stuff as we can out of the weather, but we can't do it. We have one bay. So this would be a great use of our impact fees, you know, before we have to give them back. And this is what I'm proposing. I'm putting out there as a proposal to CIP because we have to, because it's illegal. If we were to go forward with this, if the selectmen give me the okay to go with this, I'm gonna get 3 bid quotes for 3 different, you know, steel contractors for the building, is cement for the concrete, you know, electrical, water, all of it. I think we can do it for about $170,000. I think we're right there now with my impact fees as it is. I think we have just
We
about
are.
that going right now.
I put it on the corner of the sheet, the August 1st impact fee level for each department, so that you had it.
So, for everybody listening, we're not coming to the town, we're not coming to the people for any money. This would be all from building contractors that, you know, pay their impact fees. Like I said, I have all the steel company and the concrete plans if anybody wants to see it.
The new trucks that you received with grants, are they sitting outside?
Yep.
Yep.
$263,000 of it.
Okay.
Wow. Do you have an estimate of the salt damage from the truck sitting outside, or can you come up with a metric like that? It's not gonna make a difference for
I
that.
wouldn't
This
even-
is just later for
You
you.
know, something, if it wasn't just 3 of us and maybe I had the time to sit down and do something like that, I could. I can't. The time involved, most of our summer, it's either mowing or working on our trucks. We'll get into the trucks next, and we'll talk more about that, but 90% of our time is grinding and painting and grinding and painting and repairing.
Sounds like my employees at work. I just don't have time to do that.
That's all you can do.
Yeah. I'm just teasing you, Brian. I like it. I think I'm good with questions.
And is that with the estimate? The estimates, do they come within that range, 170,000?
Well, the estimate I have right here is $119,000 for the steel.
Okay.
I came out with about $14,000 maxed out for that concrete. So we're right around the $140,000 range, somewhere in that range. And then, you know, electrical, which would, you know, probably use a town contractor, electrical. We don't have to have water in there, but there is the well for the sawmill right behind it, and I don't think that would be a big deal. And our building inspector, who is a certified plumber, could probably help us with that. Like I said, the heating system, we'll probably try and get the state grant for that. Even still, it's $10,000. You know what I mean? It's not an undoable price.
Yeah.
Anybody have anything?
It's a really good use.
No, I think it's fantastic. And then, you know, he's already building efficiencies in with using cheaper labor resources.
If you haven't seen it, have Kevin give you a look. I was just amazed at how small
I'm gonna come down there and
of a
visit you, Kevin.
facility it is.
Anytime. Come on by and take a peek.
Just
Give me
amazing.
a call, make sure I'm there so I can show you around, but, you know, we do the best we can. We're not, you know, we're not crying. We don't, you know, need the Taj Mahal. We just want to get our equipment out.
I totally get it.
You know.
Yeah, that's good.
All right, well, anything
We have one.
All right, now I gotta flip the page, because I know I'm gonna need more notes for this.
This one's pretty straightforward. Brian loves this one during budget.
He's smiling.
He's smiling because he can turn his camera off and go run around in the woods.
Yeah. All right, so when it comes to trucks, when it comes to vehicles in the highway department, we are not the same as the police department, all right? Our vehicles don't have, well, some do, so at 100,000 miles, we have a couple vehicles, the small ones. We've got 3 tiers of vehicles. We've got small, we've got medium, we've got heavy. All right? Right now, I would classify, we have, I don't know, 3 to 4 small, 3 to 4 medium, and 3 large. All right, coming out to 10 trucks. You do the math. It doesn't add up, but, so the age in the hours, now only our larger trucks have the hour meters. The smaller trucks don't have hour meters, but it's idle time with these trucks. So every 10,000 hours of idle time equals 1,000,000 miles on a motor. That's industry standard. My biggest issue is age. I have 2 trucks down right now that I need extensive repairs. I have a 2003 fire truck, which we took over from the fire department 6 years ago, that needs a power steering pump, needs an oil pan replaced, and it's a 6-liter diesel, so it's not just take it off, put it on. You have to lift the motor, drop the mid-frame, and do it. It's a big job. It's not a little job. I'm estimating anywhere from $4 to $5 grand to fix that truck for 2,000. My 2012 F-450, we just did an oil change on it this morning, and it's full of gold material, so the lower end bearings are going. It's got a real bad knock in it. It's a 2012. We're estimating anywhere from $16,000 to $20,000. Might be able to do it on the cheaper side by getting a junkyard motor and putting it in, but there's no guarantee with that. I don't know what I'm gonna do about that truck. That basically came up today. The 2009 International Heavy, so I'm going by the 4 trucks that I put on the request. The 2009 Heavy, I would like to go try to get the VW grant on this one again. It was denied last time when we got the Western Star, but we'd like to try that again. We'll see if we can get that to stick this time. Their criteria is a little off as far as I'm concerned. They go by miles, and because they're trying to do clean fuel, but it's hours for us because the trucks idle more than they do run, I should say, down the road. That truck is an 09. The larger trucks, you could probably get 15 years out of them. I would say 10 years is your maximum before the salt and the weather and just the hammering of them takes the toll. The F-350 single light that I have on the 2025 side, it's a 2015. It's got 115,000 miles on it, transmission slipping. We did a transmission oil change and filter, and it seems to be going all right, but it scares the hell out of me. The rest of them are, basically from 2018 up at that point. I do have some newer ones. I bought a brand new CV last year, brand new Western Star through the VW grant. I got 2 5500s or 2019, 2020. They're in pretty good shape. We actually had to do a training on one of them. And the 2018's in pretty good shape, but there's constant maintenance. It's constant maintenance, it's constant upkeep, it's constant, cleaning up the rust and the paint chipping and just the salt. I put up all 4 for 2025 to the sum of $350,000. I'm realistic. I know it's not happening. I didn't put any financing, any proposals together like the chief did, because this has to go in front of the selectmen, and they have to decide how we want to move forward with this. I can live with the 7400, the 2009. Keep it going for another year, put more money into it. I can go with the 2015, probably just keep babying that transmission. But the other 2, we have to decide to spend big money or try and get out of something. Kim and I have talked extensively over this with Doug and with Dan about a capital reserve, which we'd hope to put together this year so we can start, getting vehicles into a capital reserve. Like Brian was talking, I would love to get vehicles put into the budget like the police does. It's a little harder on my end because, the smaller vehicles last a little longer than the big ones sometimes, and it depends on the use. The mid-sized trucks now have become like our go-to trucks, so we're using them a lot. So they're gonna take more of a beating, they're gonna take more of wear and tear. But yeah, that's where I stand with the trucks. I kind of gave you a quick graft on, you know, the play out on it. We should, you know, in all reality, we should be replacing those 4 at minimum. But like I said, I'm a realist and I've been around enough to know.
Do you think by having that new bay at the highway center, is that'll help with, do you think that'll be a benefit?
Absolutely.
For those vehicles? Because I know, you know, obviously, right now, you know, being exposed to the weather and all that stuff, I mean, but being inside and contained, that may, going down the road, I would assume, help with maintenance and costs and some things of that.
Oh, absolutely. It would definitely prolong the life of the vehicles. You know, anything you put in the garage, your snow blower, your lawnmower, if it's out of the weather, it lasts longer. You know what I mean? The rubber, seals, bushings, everything just lasts longer. Everything, shocks, anything exposed to the weather, anything that the manufacturer didn't paint, doesn't rust the same. Like I said, it stops that salt from actually working. You know, it continues to work, but it's not the same as being outside in the weather.
Yep.
You know, the different changes in temperatures.
Not to take away from the need for a facility, but the damage is already done to the fleet.
Yeah.
It's done. And we're not gonna reverse that, and even putting them in a building isn't gonna give them a new lease on life. So, I mean, that argues for both the facility and equipment.
I mean, trust me, I've gone to Kim multiple times. Can we use impact fees for vehicles? You know what I mean? I get rid of these 2 that are down and buy 2 brand-new F-550s tomorrow. And we have the money there, but the legality is that we can't use that money for that. So what's the next best thing? Let's get a facility that we can put the newer vehicles in the CV, the Western side, get them inside a garage, get them out of the weather, and then maybe those vehicles, 6-7 years down the road, will be in a better shape, but we don't have to replace them as early. You know, the ones that I'm talking about, these 4 here, they've seen their prime. You know what I mean? They need to be replaced. And but let's try and keep the ones that we are getting longer.
You got those 4 for 25.
It's gonna prolong your life. It's like, I understand there's damage done, but right now you can like slow it down.
Right, especially for the newer vehicles. Right.
And that.
I'm sorry, yeah. I put 25 as, should be 26.
Okay, that's my question.
And
Thanks.
Be pushed off.
So the highway facility itself hasn't really grown, right?
Right.
As the fleet has had to grow because of the number of roads that have been added, because of the number of developments. So as the town has grown, the facility really hasn't grown with it to match the fleet. So it really is a perfect
Yeah,
fit.
our fleet has doubled in size since I started.
Yep.
And that's me wanting to have it in-house and the ability to get contractors. I can't get people. It's easy for me to get someone to drive my truck. I say not easy, it's easier.
Yeah.
Get someone to drive my truck, and I know the maintenance of that truck. I know it's gonna go out the road and be fine. Hiring contractors, getting them to come with their trucks and having the type of maintenance you need and the type of vehicle you need to appease our insurance, to make sure they go down the road, to make sure it gets done. You know, that's the hardest part. That's
Not
why
to mention the expectations of everyone in town that snow removal's done 2 or
wet
3
roads,
times
wet
before you
roads,
wake up.
wet roads, right? Everybody wants their roads wet.
I mean, you guys should get kudos for that, because I know the kids, they get up disappointed every time we have a snowstorm and they're going to school, so.
We talk at 4:00 in the morning. It's like, who's calling you at 4 a.m?
There's only one person.
Go or no go.
No, but that's a good thing. Like, you go out into Hudson or Londonderry and their roads are still trashed. So, I mean,
I can cut back on trucks and not do as well.
I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying you set a bar of expectation now.
No, you know, but it's changed. 23 years ago when I moved into town, The side roads weren't done till the storm was over. All the main roads were done, and they were out there, and I get it from the old timers all the time. Oh, we were out there with 5 trucks doing it. You know what I mean? Yeah, Doug's laughing, right? And that's the truth.
I
you
know,
what
and
mean?
I'm
Because they would do the
joking
main
too,
roads,
but
and
I
then
mean,
in the end, they'd come through
we've
and do
had-
one pass and be
Well,
done.
we had this conversation last year about the building for the salt.
Yeah.
You know, everybody's like, oh yeah, salt, salt, until there's no salt and the roads are jacked, and then everybody's gonna lose their minds.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's kind of a unique thing between you and the fire department and the police department. Everybody doesn't wanna pay for it until they need it, and then it's too late, right? And you're in the same boat.
Right, and our vehicle problem throughout the town, it's all common. We're all in the same boat, you know, I'm a taxpayer, you're a taxpayer, I understand.
Yep.
I don't want my taxes to go up any more than the next person, but I also, being on the inside, know that we need this stuff.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, and Brian, maybe you have some input in here, and I think I'm gonna be reaching outside of the CIP here, but maybe there's a triumvirate with these 3 groups of folks that we need to look at vehicles in a more holistic way and not individual by, focal area. And maybe you can find a different efficiency for the timing and everything else that makes it more level across the board. I'm just throwing that out there. You guys can sort that out in the budget committee, but, you know.
I think having a capital reserve is the answer.
Yeah.
Yes. I think with the highway department, capital reserve is definitely the way to go, because at least with the police department, they have more or less just gonna pay $70,000 per vehicle.
Yep.
It's about 1,000 every year. But with what Kevin's saying, he's looking at like different pieces of equipment and they vary in price. So I think, like Kim said, capital reserve, I think that's the way to go with this.
Well, your smaller vehicles should be in the same price range as the police cruisers, right?
well, and
Relatively.
it depends, like right now, if you said to me, Kevin, go buy an F-550, and I take one of my 450 off, I can take the plows and the sander off of that, and it would be around 75, 80 grand.
Yeah,
Right. But when you start getting into, you know, a new truck, a bigger truck, or you say even that same truck, and we would put plows on it,
Yeah.
now you're talking 120,
gotcha.
you know, for plow sanders and, you know, lights and all that.
I don't know, I just think it's something we need to consider, because like you and the police department, like every year when we do this, it's vehicles, salt sheds, buildings, right? Yeah, but the vehicles is a big thing, and you can't do your work without them, the police can't do theirs, the fire department can't do theirs, I mean, you know.
Litchfield's one of the only communities that doesn't have a capital vehicle,
Program,
Yeah.
right.
yeah.
Every other fire department around us, I mean, over $1 million for a fire truck, ambulances, it doesn't matter, they all have capital reserve funds. So now you're not coming in asking to spend $1.5 million on a fire truck, you're asking to take $700,000 out of an account to go towards the purchase
Yep.
of a vehicle.
Yeah,
Now, I don't know how Bedford does it, but I just know that every year they, no matter the age, the miles, the hours, they take 3 of their trucks and they trade them in, or they actually auction them, and they buy 3 new ones. It's part of their budget, 3 trucks. So with the 16 trucks that they have, it works out that, you know, it's 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3.
yeah.
And it makes absolute sense, but it's how do you get it into the budget? Especially with the cap, you know what I mean? How do you get that into the budget so that everybody's comfortable with making that payment?
Yeah. Well, Bedford's got a deeper wallet than we do, I think.
Yeah, well,
But I hear you. I mean, there has to be a more common, consistent way to get these. Even if we can't get them all, there's got to be a better way, because we're constantly having this question.
The absolute best thing to do is, in a year where the town, for whatever reason, hasn't had to expend their funds, instead of moving, you know, that goes into unassigned, move it by warrant into the capital reserve.
Yeah.
You're not raising taxes, you're not having an unstable tax rate, right? That's the worst way to hit residents, is by having these large fluctuations in your tax rate.
Well, I mean, and I think the bigger problem is though, and I think this happened for all the equipment, is the can got kicked down the road until the can got smashed and run over 85 times, and then there was no choice, and then it all snapped back and it all hit at once, right?
Yes.
well, and, you know, and you're talking $70,000 vehicles next door. but, you know, Doug's talking $1 million vehicles.
Oh,
And if I had to go for a.
I used to be a
front-end
firefighter.
loader,
I
you're
know
talking
all
a
about
quarter
the
of a
cost
million.
of those
You know what I
versus
mean?
you guys.
So,
Yeah.
you know, when we get to that point, I mean, my front-end loader is a 2012. It's in good shape, we're trying to maintain it, but it's rusting, it's getting there. And it's gonna come to a point, we're gonna say, hey, you know, we need to replace this, and it's gonna be $200,000-$300,000. How do
Yep.
we do that with the capital, you know, a capital fund? I don't know. I
Well,
don't
that's
know.
called capital fund equals piggy bank, right? You save,
Wow,
then you
yeah,
buy, you
yeah.
don't emergency
Save.
buy.
We've had a lot of good luck with the Clean Fleets grant, so.
Yeah.
Thank you to the
Oh, yeah,
state.
yeah, I mean,
and
our
folks like-
Western
Oh,
Star, they
and
just
what
come
was
to
it, the
buy
ARPA funds? That was good help too.
That was good help for the fire, yeah.
Yeah,
But we should have taken that as, you know, the point in time where we said, okay, now we're going to get ourselves on the schedule again. And not just waiting for the next federal grant or the, you know.
It never gets
That-
better,
well,
it only gets
100%.
worse.
I mean, that's like saying, I'm gonna buy a new car when I hit the lottery.
Right.
It doesn't happen. So, I don't know, I mean, I think it's a bigger problem for us than this group, but, I mean, I think, you know. I mean, it's the same every year, right? It's just a different set of vehicles that are in need of replacement.
Town did well with the ARPA funds, though, I thought.
Yes.
A lot of thought went into that.
What was that? What'd you say?
Town did well with the ARPA.
Oh, we did, we
Yeah.
distributed to everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know, in hindsight, I mean, like, if we didn't need to spend $800,000 on the fire truck, that would have been a great time to take that money and put that into a capital, so if we ever do.
Well, you guys can go in the parking lot and sort that one out.
You know something, and I don't begrudge any other department what they need.
No, I-
They need what they need, and they need to do what they need, you know what I mean? I'm not, this isn't a competition by any means.
I'm
You know,
just
and-
saying.
and-
Well, I'm
but
just looking,
budget and
and I'm like,
selectmen have to make
the
that choice.
2003 and the 2005, I'm like, we've talked about this for like the past 2 years. Those two vehicles, because I remember that, I think they've been on the plan for the replacement.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I do pay attention, Kevin. I know that people don't always think we do, but we do. Look, here's one here. This is your old notes, replace 2012 Caterpillar backhoe. So, I keep all the stuff.
And
so I
how-
can
we did-
look
we
at the
did that with the ARPA.
trends. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, and I think it's important, right? I mean, I think, you know, maybe it would behoove us to go back through the last several capital improvement plans and, you know, let the evil AI do a little bit of level setting for us and see what the output is and see what that trend model looks like, because maybe it tells a different story of how we need to address some of this stuff.
I think this year we did exactly the right thing, by taking money and paving the transfer station and the highway
Oh,
department.
100%.
I think that was huge, that was gonna be a big safety, issue with residents coming in and out of the transfer station, you know, as often
And
as they
and it
do.
helps with the wear and tear on everything that's
On
going
the
around there, right?
vehicles,
It's
yeah.
not getting murdered when it goes through there.
I had that on the pavement plan for 6 years, and I kept pushing it. You know, 'cause if you look at the pavement plan, I put $300,000 to $400,000 a year on my pavement plan, 8, 10, 12 streets.
Yep.
And it's always got, that was what we kind of pushed all the time,
Yeah.
to get roads done, to get the roads, you know, where they're supposed to be.
Yep.
And that took, we weren't sure about doing that, but I definitely think it was the right move, because it's 30 years now.
Yeah.
I mean, you know,
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you know, you look at the 2003 and, you know, dude, that's 22 years old, right? Or more at this point, because
The,
the 2003, the fire truck, that
Oh,
old
yeah.
one. And then with you get the 2005, what is it, a 350, F-350 or a 450?
well, the 450s are 12,
But I mean, these things, you know, they were on the list last year. Right?
they've been on the list for a few years.
Right, well, exactly. I mean, that's the thing, it's just kind of like,
You know, I'm not, I don't wanna go down that road that we're complaining that they've been on there, you know what I mean?
I'm-
They have,
well-
because we have been replacing trucks and we have been upgrading.
This
So
isn't
we're
this
not-
isn't a complaint for you, Kevin. This is just a matter of, is there another way to deal with stuff? And looking at trends over time tells a very different story. And this has nothing to do with any of you guys. This is just looking at things from a holistic perspective, year over year, because it's telling a very different story of something else needs to happen somewhere else to level this stuff out, right? Because otherwise, it's, my point is, and this is kind of where, it's not gonna stop unless we look at it a different way, right?
I mean, you're talking about the need for a longer-term strategy,
Yeah, exactly,
as opposed to just swatting these things as they come up.
yes.
You know, let's look out 5, 10 years.
Well, at least 10 for vehicles, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that gives us a plus or minus 5 window, at least.
And that's what you did, 10
Yeah.
years.
I say 5 because
Did
we're
10.
already behind.
Yeah,
And that's
exactly.
why I based my
Because we
truck.
wanted it this year to look out 5 to 10 years, right? So we really could give you the data points you need, right, to
Yeah,
try to look at this.
no, 100%, but it's just, you know, I might have to snag a couple of people from work and let them do some data analytics on this, just for the.
We sat and we did, you know,
No, these
each
guys do
department
projective analysis
made
and
a
all kinds of
list
other stuff,
with
and they
the
might tell you guys
ages,
a
the
story
miles,
that's a little more
everything.
interesting.
In 2023.
Yeah.
It was a big exercise that we all did. We wanted a capital reserve then.
Yeah.
We like had decided this needs to be fixed. And
No, I remember you guys
things,
pushing
other
for it.
things came up and other emergencies came up and it sat.
And this is
And I
part of the
think we've
problem,
said,
right? I
that's
mean,
it.
the police chief has cars that are blowing engines at 47 grand. Like that, I don't even know what to say about that in this day and age. I mean, that's, if you can't get a vehicle to hit 120 easy
I
without
just replaced the
issues-
transmission on this Chevy 5500 with 8,500 miles on it.
But I know, that's insane. I was just at the dealership
Out of
getting
warrant, out of
something done.
warranty by 6 months.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
It's,
what do you?
it's not,
But the problem is, the car, you know, the equipment manufacturers don't care, right? Oh, this is our date, you missed it. Sometimes they'll be gracious if they have enough people threatening class actions and other things, but until that happens, you're helpless. But we still need to be able to deal with that outcome, right? And these things are not they're not cheap like they used to be. A transmission used to be $1,200, 500 installed, and, you know, you can't touch it. You can't touch a transmission now for under 6 grand. And that's not even the installation and tearing it out of the car.
oh, we just did one, so now we're spending money on paint. We undercoat, you know, we undercoat every vehicle twice a year. You know what I mean? And we're.
And that's
we're-
just to offset the salt.
And that's just to offset the salt. That's
Yeah.
just to keep the trucks from rotting out from under us.
And what's the cost for undercoat twice a year?
About $330 per vehicle.
I mean, that's not going away. I mean, shit, my F-150 driving around, I've had my brake caliper seize up and everything else just from, and that thing sits in my driveway most of the time.
Yeah.
You go out in a snowstorm, you come back, and next thing you know, your truck's yanking to one side, you're like, what's going on? You look at your rotor and you're like, oh, it's hung up again.
Yeah.
You know, and mine's not out doing what your guys are doing.
That's a daily event for us.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Dragging the air brake truck until it pops. Yeah.
That's what I'm
Well,
saying.
thank you very much for coming in.
I didn't mean to rant.
No, it's totally fine.
We do appreciate
My
it.
gears are spinning, so,
And thank you.
yes, thank you.
Thank
Kevin.
you, guys.
Thanks for entertaining.
And all your work. Thank you. All right, up next, Doug Nickel, Chief, Litchfield Fire Chief.
He said next time he's going first.
Okay.
Gotta make a note.
Well, yeah, but they just made it easier for me. You want to talk about trucks first, or?
Well, if you,
How many trucks do you need? Let me guess, you need a ladder truck, you need a new squad, you need a super pumper and a tanker.
Well, so I need like probably 4 trucks.
Okay.
But we have one maybe on the way, hopefully. So Doug Nickel, I'm the fire chief. Just like everybody else, we're in the same predicament. Our trucks are a lot older than even highways. Our oldest truck, our tanker truck, is 34 years old. By NFPA, National Fire Protection Association standards, a first in-service fire truck should be no more than, be run for no more than 15 years. It's supposed to go into reserve status for an extra 5 as a backup for an emergency, so up to 20. And then after that, it's supposed to be taken out of service. Our second due truck, other than the brand-new truck we just bought, is already 22 years old. The rescue truck that you see going to every medical call multiple times a day is 27 years old. My fleet is old. Just to give you a little background information, the fire department back in probably the mid-1970s, 1975 is when we started buying our first fire trucks. That was our first engine 2 that the town got. After that, every 5 years, we were purchasing a fire truck. So at the time, the chief at the time came up with a replacement program, because as we were just throwing out the words lease purchase, a lease purchase is what they call a fire truck. And basically, it's the same thing. You get into a 5-year payment. After you're done with the payment, the truck is yours, but they're for whatever reason, they call it a lease. I don't know why, because it confuses people. So the way that the fire service works is a fire truck is good for 20 years. So you take your oldest truck at 20 years, you replace it, and by the time you buy your next truck to replace it, it takes 20 years for that to get through the cycle. So for us, having 4 trucks, every 5 years we were replacing trucks. That happened from 1975 up until 2008. And in 2008, because the town at the time kept going into default budgets, the fire chief at the time came up with a great idea, and that was to try and make it so that, give the town a little breathing room. The town of Londonderry was selling a rescue truck that they had, and it was a very good deal. It was very cheap. And we decided as a department that it made sense to take a fire truck, because a fire truck gets about 3 to 4 miles to the gallon, and this rescue truck that has no water, no fire pump on it, was getting about 8 miles to the gallon. That we were going to save money on wear and tear, and we could keep the fire trucks off the road for going to medical calls. So we did that, and it was supposed to buy us about 3 years until we went to replace our next truck. And here we are, a lot of years later, and we never started back up that program again, because we needed a high school, we needed a middle school, we needed a town hall. So all these other major projects took a back seat. When I've talked to the budget committee before, our lease purchase payments, so just for instance, our second newest truck, engine 1, that's 22 years old, the town paid $261,000 for the truck. Well, at the time, we were probably making, I think it was like a $61,000 5-year lease payment on the truck to buy the truck. And then what would happen is the next year, maybe because the prices go up on trucks, instead of trying to raise that extra money because the lease payment was already in our budget, we would only have to pay, raise the $3,000, whatever the price increase was after 5 years, how much a fire truck went up. We were just offsetting it for our purchase price so that we could get into another 5-year payment. So that worked for the town. So now you're not coming back to the taxpayer saying, I need $500,000 for a fire truck. Instead, you come back and say, we need to raise $7,000 for an additional, for our lease purchase payment to continue buying our fire trucks. So that worked very well, but then again, like I said, a lot of different things have happened throughout the town, different needs, that we just stopped it all together, and that's how we find ourselves in the predicament that the fire department's in today. And now, I mean, that the truck that we just bought with ARPA money was $656,000, which we got a deal on because it had already been, all the materials for it had been purchased a year and a half prior to everything that started happening in the industry. So that truck, had we not bought it when it was already being built, would have been $800,000. That same truck right now is $1.4 million. So there's been a huge jump because our engine one that we bought for $261,000 is the same thing as its sister sitting next to it. That, like I said, it's $656,000 because of the price of materials, equipment. The other thing that's happened to us is a fire truck before took on average 14 months to build, a little over a year. And then they've slowly been bringing that out. The town of Londonderry just ordered a fire truck, a ladder truck, a tower ladder, 4 years to build it. They're paying for it now, and they'll make their last payment on it probably before it even walks in the door. So the problem that I have as the fire chief is I can sit here and tell you that in 2 years I want to replace a truck, but from the time that I order that truck, I may have to wait 3 or 4 years to get it. So really, I should be sitting here before you right now, telling you I need to order 3 trucks right now, today, because I won't have them for 3 or 4 years. And as I'm saying right now, our trucks are 22, 24, 24, 34, and 27 years old. And these are emergency vehicles that are going out in all kinds of weather, in the worst kind of weather, in order to try, whether it's going to a car accident or it's going to a house fire. And the other thing with a fire truck is everything in it is computerized. So years ago, you used to take a fire truck, and after about 7 or 8 years, you would put $24,000, $30,000, $50,000, and you would rehabilitate the truck, go through it. Well, nowadays, you can't even do that because what they're building now for computerized systems has a spot for it in the truck. So my trucks, even if I wanted to, which they've all been refurbished, where they needed to, you wouldn't even be able to put any of those systems in, and the truck may not even be able to electrically be able to handle that type of system. So that's what I find myself challenged with right now with fire trucks, is that I have 3 trucks that are way beyond what is the recommended lifespan of them. We were very fortunate. We did get our truck through ARPA. So we have 2 trucks that run the most. It's the First Line engine, which is what we just replaced with the ARPA money. So we're in decent shape with that. And then our next most run truck is our rescue truck, which does 75% of all the calls. So last year it did a little over 800 calls, the department. But that truck could have went to so many more types of calls, but it doesn't have a water tank and it doesn't have a pump on it, so it limits what we can use it for. Working with Kim, we were able to look into that Clean Fleets that Kevin has used so successfully. Mm-hmm. And we actually were awarded a conditional,
We received a notice of award. It's on the selectmen's.
For a grant?
Yes.
For a grant to replace the rescue truck with a 4-door Ford F550 mini pumper with a water pump, a water tank on it. It'll get better mileage, it's better emissions, and I don't have to train somebody to get a CDL to drive it. So it's gonna make it easier for us. So we got a 70-30 grant. So $283,000 is being paid for by the grant. Mm-hmm. And then the town, we just have to come up with a 30% portion of that. Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to do whatever I can in order to help offset the need that I have for these fire trucks. I'm trying to find any grant I can find, and afterwards we'll talk about other equipment I have that I'm also looking hard at trying to get grants for, to try and help my situation out and help the town at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Well, I see you get price targets on everything. Have you talked to the selectmen yet? Did they have a prioritization or any thoughts?
So the grant that we just received for the rescue truck, that'll be on the board's agenda on April 11th. August 11th, yeah, April.
Man, you have a time machine,
I'm
Kim,
going
can I
back
borrow
in
it?
time. Yeah, I think there is nothing more frustrating than finding a grant, doing the work that it entails to apply for the grant, and then even thinking about having to give back $283,000. Right? I mean, that's just insane in my book. We're in a default budget. That makes it very difficult for us to raise funds and have funds available for the town's portion. Again, if we had a capital reserve, and I'm gonna say this until the cows come home, you're all gonna throw me out. We could take money out of the capital reserve to pay the town's portion. Those are the type of things we have to be prepared for.
Yep.
Right, so when we have the opportunity to go for these grants, to get assistance, to help offset the cost to our taxpayers, we have to have funds available to meet the town's portion of it.
Yep.
And we just don't have that. And so if we have to, we'll have, I'm sure, a deep discussion at the selectmen's meeting on what to do. We have a few ideas, but that is really important to start putting money aside. We can apply for grants. I think we have a great team. I think we all share the effort in doing so. We have no problem with that. But we have to have money available.
Well, I will say, the grants that you guys have secured over the years, you have a higher success rates than most people do. Securing grants, because the grants are like a friggin' Rubik's Cube, the way they're written, because they're coming out of the federal space, and it's almost intentional that they're difficult.
Yeah.
Like in some unfortunate ways, so, kudos to you guys for doing that. So, I mean, yes, we need to make sure that we can close that deal when you guys have that success, for sure, because it doesn't happen that often. A lot of places go after grants and just sit there with their hand out and nothing, so.
Yeah, so that's where we're at. We're trying to play catch up in it, but I'm trying to bear in mind the fact of what the town can afford. So normally I would say every 5 years I'd try for a fire truck, but right now I'm so trying to play catch up. I think every 2 years I need to try and do something, and I'm trying to think outside the box and like I said, find ways of saving money and also get around the waiting 4-year part to get a truck.
Yeah,
Like the last truck, we were able to get a demo truck that was already being
No, I
built.
remember. Yeah,
And-
because if you hadn't had that, you were on what, 4.5-year schedule, right? That was from the time you designed it, submitted it. It was a 4.5-year turn to get that.
Yeah, and the rescue truck that we're looking to procure right now, I also did the same thing. I was able to find a truck that's actually already being built. And should we secure the money, we could actually have it in Litchfield in February or March of '26. And not have to wait, 2 years, 3 years for it.
Yeah, that's insane. So I remember, and this is going back in the Wayback Machine. It was the late '80s, early '90s when we had ordered a brand new pumper, and it took, I want to say it took 9 months, and everybody was complaining it was a long time. And it did have to go back for a repair. Actually, you know what? They sent somebody from, I was in Annapolis at the time. They sent somebody from Maine or Vermont, because whatever column or tank they had in it, they had to do a repair on it, and they had to fly somebody down to fix it.
Yeah.
Because it split like 2 months after it showed up.
There
at
used
the
to be
station.
26 manufacturers of fire trucks in the
Yeah.
country. Well, now there's really 4 entities that own all of the smaller companies. So it's monopoly.
Yeah.
So they can dictate the terms, the prices, and the time schedule of getting the trucks.
Well, hopefully that changes.
Hopefully,
With
yeah,
the
hopefully
demand.
government
I mean, the
works on it.
demand with a 4-year build turn, other people are they're gonna get in, they're gonna see dollar signs potential to get into that game and help that out, but that doesn't help us until they do it. But that's insane.
Yeah.
That's a huge turn.
So for the rescue truck, it looks like you don't have a dollar amount in here. Is that because it's?
So it-
That's the grant
yeah,
target.
That's
so
the
it's-
grant.
Yeah, it's a $400,000
There
truck.
we go. Say 283 plus 30%. Yeah, I noticed that when I looked. So then you need a SCBA air cascade system also, and 26
Yeah,
new SCBA's with 59 secondary bottles.
right, so air packs, just like fire trucks, air packs have a 15-year life on them because they're compressed air cylinders, you wear them on your back. All the bottles that we have are composite, so because they're composite and the way they are, they can only be used up to 15 years. We were very fortunate back in 2002, under one of our former chiefs, that he was actually went out and procured a grant. So the cascade system and the air packs that we have, we got through a federal grant back in '02.
Okay.
The problem that we're having right now is this breathing air system we have now, the compressor system in the station, leaks really bad. And, you know, if to somebody that's a layperson that's not in the fire service, you think, well, you only need it when you have a fire. But like any pressure cylinder, like tires in your car, you know, everything slowly weans off. So every week we're adding air into these air bottles. You're doing training, you're replenishing them, you use them for power equipment, you use them for airbags and for other things. So we're at a point where we can't get parts for this air compressor anymore. And every time we use it, it actually runs on mineral oil. And it sprays mineral oil all over the walls of the room that it's in. So, yeah, so.
You should save some of that for Kevin to keep the rust away.
There you go. And then as far as the air packs, you know, you don't just, years ago, we used to piecemeal and buy 2 air packs a year. Well, it's like buying a car where they changed the model year, so you wonder which air pack do I have today? Is it the one that the switch is on the left side, or is it the switch that's on the right side? And when you're in a pitch black room, that's not the time to figure it out.
Right.
So air packs now, when you do them all
You guys
at
have
once.
Scott Pack or MSA?
We're using Scott.
Okay.
So we have 26 Scott air packs, and then every air pack you have a spare bottle for. So we have 59 composite bottles that we have to maintain. And every riding seat of a fire truck has to have an air pack on it. So if it's a 6-man cab, it has 6 packs. If it's a 4-man cab, it has 4 packs. And so that's why we have.
Then you need
That's why
spares.
we have 26.
Yep. Oh, and don't forget about your, what is it, every 3 to 5 years, you gotta get the bottles all recertified too.
Yeah.
Then you
oh,
gotta
yeah.
refill them.
Yeah.
Yep.
So those are the major things that I'm looking to do. I mean, obviously, you know, we have other equipment. It's just hard because our stuff is obviously very expensive. And like I said, that's why I think it would really benefit the town by having capital reserve accounts. So that, you know, like I said, at Bedford, other towns around us, that's what they'll do. They put so much money in, and then they go to the taxpayer and say, hey, I want to buy this fire truck. I want to take $400,000 out and either have a payment, or I want to take $750,000 cash out to buy this ambulance or whatever they're doing. And then that way you know, it's not like you can just take the money and decide to go buy it. It still has to be an act of the people of the residents in order to take the money out of the account to order something.
Yeah, certainly makes sense.
They're gonna pay it anyway. It's
Right.
just
Just a matter of when.
emergency situation, right?
Right, well, I mean, it stings less when it's already
Right.
been taken out at a lower rate.
Just like we all do in our home budgets, right? You have a really large purchase you wanna make, you put money aside over a period of time, so you have the money to buy it. You've gotta do the same thing in the town.
So it looks like your pumper tanker's your first choice. Well, the rescue truck going through Grant, that's
So right now,
just going through your order you have.
Yeah, so
'cause you
right now,
had-
my vision moving forward is right now with all the hydrants that we have in town, that pumper tanker, I don't really, so it has a 1250 pump, so it has a pump, it's got air packs, it's a full fire truck. It is in very good shape for what it is. I wouldn't really get much for resale out of it.
Yeah.
So my plan is to run that until it dies, and then it goes out of service, and I wouldn't replace it. But in hindsight, on top of that, engine 4, which would be the next engine to be replaced.
And is that the 2004 pumper
That's
listed?
the 2001? 2000, wait a minute, 2001 KME pumper tanker.
Yep.
What I would want to do is we would be taking the tanker, the Mack tanker off the books. But what I would want to do is I would like to upgrade the KME pumper to a Quint, to a 75 or 100-foot ladder. Believe it or not, every fire that we get, doesn't matter if we have a chimney fire, any type of fire, either Londonderry or Hudson is coming right now. But the problem is they're so busy that sometimes they're not available. And in years past, we didn't have a lot of high structures. Now you have the high school, you have all these townhouses that are being built all over town that are high enough. And even houses now, chimneys, you never put a ladder directly against a chimney, especially something that's extremely hot, or, if you're having a chimney fire.
Yep.
And our ladders actually cannot get to those chimneys anymore. So even on a basic chimney fire, we have to call in for an out-of-town ladder. So what I would like to do is get rid of 2 trucks to gain 1 truck. So we would be bringing less money for maintenance to the fleet, but we would be growing our capability so that we don't have to rely so much on the other towns around us.
Okay. Might need to clarify that, because I was just going through the sheet and what I picked off here, I think I pulled out a little bit different story, so. Not a big deal,
Yeah,
just,
those are our major things. I mean, the smaller trucks, to like what Kevin was saying, like our 2004 Ford F-150, we purposely bought a used truck because it's going in the woods and it's getting beaten to crap to put out.
is that your brush truck?
Yeah, that's our brush truck. So instead of going out and buying a brand-new truck to beat up in the woods, we went to auto wholesalers and Hooksett and bought a used truck and just painted it and put a flatbed on it with a pump and a tank.
Gotcha.
The other forestry truck that we have is from the federal government, and that was given to us for $1. So, and the town owns that truck. It's that's what they use for troop carriers. It's called a Stuart Stevenson, which is another name now, FMLT or something like that. But it's like a $180,000 truck that the town got for $1.
It was a dollar truck.
It was a dollar truck, yes.
Try explaining that when you gotta replace that one.
Right? So, and that one, even though it's a 1997, I mean, the trucks we had before that were 1950s series, so, I mean, we'll have a lot of longevity out of this truck that won't be replaced for a very long time unless something catastrophic happens to
One
it.
of the brush trucks we had at my old station was a 6-wheel old army truck from World War II.
Yeah,
But it was awesome because you could drive it over anything.
and this thing's a tank with tires on it.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, so other than that, I mean, we have, our F-250 pickup, our utility, and we have the chief's truck. So those are the only 2 other things, and they're fairly new, so those are like 10 or 15 years out. So my only major purchases are the most expensive, obviously, are the bigger trucks.
Yeah. Well, at least you got the grant moving on the one.
We do have on there the mobile generator. That actually is kind of under emergency management. That's what actually is at the high school for our emergency shelter. And actually I have a meeting this week with the state to try and get a Homeland Security grant to replace that.
There's gotta be a emergency response grant for that stuff. For disaster.
Used to be a lot more.
They're redoing them.
Oh, things are
Getting ready to
really
reissue,
slowed
because I
down.
just heard it was coming out of FEMA and Army. Corps of Engineers might have some too, look over there.
Okay.
Yeah, we're looking, wherever we can try and get a grant, we're trying.
I know, but the Army Corps of Engineers is not the obvious place to go look.
Well,
So
if you
I'm
get
saying-
in, you let me know. I'll take it.
I can't fit, I'm not sitting in special offices in DC. I'm just saying that a lot of those agencies do disaster work other than just FEMA. So look around, you might be surprised.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah. Thank you very much for coming in tonight.
Yes.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it. and
Greatly
for the
appreciate it.
information.
Thank you all for entertaining our questions today.
I think now that we've depressed everybody with
I don't think we depressed
millions
her. I mean,
of
look,
dollars.
it's reality, and that's the real issue, right? And you know, we've had this conversation before.
Sometimes reality isn't that great, isn't it?
Yeah.
No. Well, we all have this reality. We all have to replace our vehicles. We all have to fix things when they're broken. Just
Thank
this is
you
on a
very
bigger
much.
scale.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Chief.
Have a good night.
Have a good night.
Night.
Is that it? Is there any other presenters?
I think those are the.
I was just
That's
getting-
it
I was
for
just getting
tonight.
started.
I hope to have everyone else. I guess I did invite, COMCOM,
Okay.
Mr. Hoffman to come on the 18th.
Yep.
That was a question that we had last year about whether that should have stayed on.
Right.
And yes, they have every,
I think that's. what
they want that. And then I invited rec and library. And
Okay.
so
Great.
they're confirmed. So we should be able to wrap up the town's request on the 18th at our next meeting.
Great.
Brian said he was already done with his.
So I guess I'll put you on the spot, Superintendent. Anything from the school side? That you wanna bring up?
Well, I mean, the elementary school. The solution to the elementary school is something that we're continuously working on. So we have put out a bid for pre-construction services about a month and a half ago now. We just concluded interviews with 4 firms that we got 7 bids in. We did interviews with 4 of the firms. We have a board meeting later this week to kind of discuss the results of all that. My hope is that at some point we move forward with one of these firms, and this week or by the next board meeting, sometime like that. Our hope is to have some sort of project on the March ballot this year. So that is our intention. But we will let the process play out. You know, it's a tight time frame for March 26th, but that is what we're working towards right now. So we have other projects as well. You know, we worked last year creating a whole capital improvement plan for the district. You know, it goes out, I guess 25, 30 years is what we came up with and everything. It has every scale of project, some that are a couple $100s to larger things such as the roof at Campbell and et cetera. When we say roof at Campbell, it's replacing other functions that would be appropriate when you're replacing a roof. So that would be the next really significant one that we're targeting. 5 or 6 years down the road, we started putting money away, one of our reserve funds in the last warrant article cycle. The other big project that I didn't know actually if Kevin was going to mention it, just the parking lot at the middle school. We continue to have to repair sinkholes with it. You know, we did another one this summer. We kicked the tires on what it would look like to do a complete overhaul replacement with it. We're awaiting a quote from Continental on what that's going to consist of, but we're expecting that to be between $300 and $400 when it's all said and done. It's not something we have to do tomorrow, but it's It's not something that we can wait forever to do. We might be able to utilize some of our capital reserve funds for it, because we do have some trust funds set aside. That will be a pretty significant project that's gonna take, a lot of money to kind of do from there. So, in a nutshell, that's what it is. While we're talking vehicles, actually, I want to say this, and I say this, smiling, but like serious as well. Like, you know, it's going to be my second year, and I continue to think we need a van for our school district to help us with costs. I'll give you one very specific example right now that we're trying to workshop. So we have a agreement to send kids to Alvern for CTE programming. We typically send them in the first block of the day and the fourth block of the day. Alvern does a great job of trying to accommodate the scheduling, so we only have to do 2 runs over there, bus runs over, right? We have 2 students whose programs only run during the 3rd block of the day that they want to do. So now we have to figure out how we're going to transport those kids over. Do we send a full bus just for this one run for 2 kids back and forth, or are we going to pursue some sort of, yeah, you shake your head, no, that doesn't make sense from a financial standpoint. But we want to make sure we have a solution for these students so they can do the program that they're signed up to do. If we had a van, then we would just transport them using the van. And there are plenty of uses for a school district van, for example, athletic transportation if you have a smaller team, which Litchfield does have some smaller teams. So, for example, fall's coming up, golf team would be a good example of this. We don't necessarily need to send a full bus for, you know, athletes that's less than 10 on that particular team on a given match and something. If we had our own van, we would just send them, save some costs and lock. So that's something we're probably going to price out and have in part of our budget process. But since we're talking vehicles, we're also going to be kicking the tires.
I thought you were going to be like, I need a golf cart so I can ride around and wave at people.
I have brought that up as well, that I would love a golf cart to cruise around town in, to go from school to school. I'd be more than happy to drive on the main roads with that, but you know, that's more of a luxury for me than anything else. So that's a quick overview of some school things.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Our second public input for this evening, since I don't see anybody in the gallery tonight, I'll close public input on the second public input. Any other business? So Jay, after what you've heard so far, any thoughts?
No, a really good discussion. So I think we've got a lot here. We'll, I think, wrap up, as you said, with the input the next, at least on the town side. So that'll, I think, put us in a good place.
Okay.
It's definitely a lot to think about, especially when you see the whole picture start to come together.
Yeah. Very good. Anybody have anything? Okay. Well, I guess that concludes our program for this evening for the CIP. Our next meeting is August 18th. Is it here in Town Hall, 6:30? So we will reconvene and continue our discussion with other departments and boards. Since there's no other business this evening, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay.
I don't know if you wanted one.
Oh, that's right. Okay, I have motion second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, abstained. Motion passes 4-0-0. Thank you for joining us this evening. We'll see you on August 18th. Have a great